This video will cover how to generate a 485 within your visit. The first 3 assessment types will generate 485s. Depending on your agency setup, the assessment descriptions may differ from what is shown here. The resumption of care will only generate a 485 if the patient is being resumed during the 5-day window of a recertification. This means a recert visit is not required. The example we are working on today is for a start of care. During your visit, you will come across questions that pertain to the 485 plan of care. All of the 485 questions that are answered during your visit will show up under this one screen for orders and goals. I'll show you a couple of examples. The functional screen will show box 17 for allergies, and the nutrition screen has a tab up here at the top, and it shows box 16 for nutritional requirements. You can answer the questions on these individual screens, and then they'll collect under the orders and goals. If you happen to notice that some information is already filled in, this means someone has added the information into the patient's referral and Barnstorm office, or if it's an assessment type for a recert or resumption, then the information has been copied forward from the previous 485. A good example is allergies. If the office staff added no known allergies to the referral, but you find out that the patient is allergic to penicillin, then once you update the information here, it will also update Barnstorm office and the other individual screens where it's documented. I'm going to go back to the orders and goals. You'll want to go through each tab here at the top to make sure your information is correct and complete. Box 21 and 22 for orders and goals will require detailed documentation for the patient's plan of care period. Each agency has their own policy on what information needs to be added to these fields. I will quickly cover options on these screens, but you'll want to speak with your supervisor regarding your specific formatting requirements. It's typical to start with the case manager's frequency and reason for services, then add each discipline's order information according to your agency's guidelines. We have several buttons up here at the top that will pull information documented throughout the assessment for you. I'll click on Pull Cognitive Data. You'll see it pulls the most recent assessment information. When you select these buttons up here at the top to pull information, it will insert that information at the end of the Box 21 orders documentation. You can edit this information as needed. Next, I'll click on Pull Care Plan Interventions. If you use the Care Plan feature to document the coordination of services, the intervention information will get pulled here. You can also use the text item feature to insert phrases automatically. 2 options here at the top we will not cover in this video are the Use Order Goal Builder and the Build from Disciplines. We do offer knowledge-based articles that cover these 2 items. Next, I'll click on Box 22 Goals. Same as the Orders tab, you'll want to find out your formatting requirements. You have a couple of options to pull information from other places. The Add 60-Day Summary will pull a variety of information, including vital signs, oxygen information, and wound information. This is typically used on a recert 485. It pulls the data from the episode that is ending. Once you have checked each tab for completeness, go to the Finish screen to build your 485. The Build 485 button will not become active until you have set your time out. I'm going to go up here and click on Build 485 Document. You will have an option to apply a different verbal start of care date. The date used by default is the assessment date. This date shows up in box 23 with the clinician's signature. The copy aid orders will add the aide's task from the aid care plan to the preview of the box 21. It does not insert or add the text into the actual box 21 for documentation. It's for preview purposes only. The from and through dates will be the 60-day certification period based on the patient's admission date. If you notice these dates are not correct, do not bill the 485 yet. Have an office staff check the admit date on the referral. If the office staff does correct the date, you'll need to complete a sync first to get the correct information, then come back to the screen to build your 485. Click on Create. This will collect the 485 information and build a separate document. Click on Preview. And you can see here it has all the information we have added to the 485 within our assessment. I'm going to click on Close and X out of the screen. I have a couple of special rules to mention. When building information like the 485 and the OASIS, Barnstorm uses dates to know which information to pull. So when the 485 is built, you'll want to make sure the ICD codes, surgery dates, and the medication effective dates are on or before the 485's from date. So if you notice that some information is not getting picked up onto the 485, that likely means that the date on that item is dated after the 485's from date. You'll need to go back to that item, fix the date, and then rebuild the 485. So any information that gets updated within your assessment for the 485, you will need to update the information within the assessment and then go back to the finish screen, click on Build 485, and when you click on Rebuild, you will receive a message stating that rebuilding will overwrite this 485. Are you sure you want to do this? Click on Yes. I've switched over to the 485 tab from the main menu. So this is where the 485 shows up once you have built it. You can select it and click on Print, and you can view the information here. We do not recommend editing the information from the 485. Instead, you should go to the visit, edit the assessment, and rebuild the 485.